Hello, everybody. My name is Nitika Mishra, and today I am with the Triple Charm. So, before I
Hi,
introduce you guys, just give a brief introduction about who Triple Charm is.
Yes, so I'm Amalia.
I'm Raina.
And I'm Gabriella,
And we're Triple Charm. We're three sisters who sing, dance, and write music together and create content on social media.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I am absolutely excited for this conversation. So,
We're excited to be here.
That's great. Music has been an integral part of your guys since childhood. So talk about your, individual musical journey and how did you guys came up with this idea and everything. So Amalia, would you start off?
Yeah, so since I am the oldest, I have been involved in music the longest. We each started dancing when we were 2 years old. So music has always been a major part of our lives, and it really started through dance. That was where we really found our passion and love for music. And then I started singing when I was like 6 years old. And then if you want to talk about
And
when
you
you
did
guys
some
started,
professional theater
yes,
too.
Yeah, I also did professional theater for a few years. So I've been like involved in music and performing arts for a really long
the
time.
leader, the pioneer of the group, I would say.
That's
Then
great.
Raina and Gabby, you guys joined in.
Okay, yeah. I started singing maybe 4.5 or 5 years ago now. And me and Gabby, we grew up watching Amalia and going to her singing competitions and supporting her. And I always wanted to sing, but I would do it, in my room. I was a little bit shy. But then, I don't know, something struck me and I was ready to do it for the world. So then Amalia's vocal coach at the time, I went and I had a lesson with her, which I was super excited about. And then from there, we kind of fell into it. And once we all started doing it, it was natural to all form a group and do it together.
Yeah.
And Gabriella, what would you like to say?
Yeah, so I actually sang with Amalia's vocal coach, or our vocal coach now, when I was like 5. I did one lesson and I was bribed by my parents to do it. And it was so funny because Amalia didn't want to go. She was trying to get back into the dance world because she was kind of just focusing on singing. And now she wanted to do both. And then, so I did a lesson. I liked it, but I was too young. I was like, nah, I don't really want to do it right now. So then Amalia and Raina started doing it. So I tagged along and then Triple Charm came to be.
That's such an amazing story. So finding a name though for a group can be a daunting task. So how did you guys came up with it? Was Triple Charm the first choice, or did you guys have to go through a long list of different names and finally decide with Triple Charm?
Yeah, we actually. Who was that?
Gabriella, I said.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. So we started with a long list of names. One we had particularly loved, but it was copywritten, and so we couldn't use it. But then our competition was coming up. We were going to Worlds, the World Championships of Performing Arts, and so it was a big deal, and we needed a name. It was like we were in the hotel, already in California, and ready to do the competition, but weren't completely entered because we didn't have a name. So we had to come up with it on the spot, and we were like, okay, let's just put the simple things together. We're 3 people, so we came up with Triple, and then we're each other's good luck charms. So that's how we came up with Charm, and then Triple Charm.
That's beautiful. The Triple Charm really suits you guys.
Thank you.
Good choice. So when you guys are in the studio, every artist has their own creative process. So what is your creative process? Amalia, would you go for it first?
Yeah, so most of our sessions are on Zoom. Our producer is over in LA, and so we do a lot of stuff online. And the process for that, I think, is a little bit different than it would be in a typical session. But normally what we like to do is we always start with a concept or a message that we want to get across to our audience. So that's either something that's like we've been thinking about recently or something we think could help our audience in some way. And so that's normally the baseline and like kind of what we start off with. And then we'll talk with our producer, Andre, and then come up with some track ideas. And then just on Zoom, we'll write the whole thing start to finish.
Oh, that's amazing. Reina, what is your favorite part of that creative process?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, the most magical part is definitely when you hear it all start to come together and it's like officially becoming like a song.
Yeah.
That's like the best part. It's like all the pieces coming together, I'd say.
Gabriella, before the process even begins, do you have any sort of like a process in your mind, just calming yourself down, bringing everything up together? How does that work for you?
Yes, and like Amalia said, we kind of start with an idea, and we come up with that before the session. We go into the session with some sort of coordinating idea, and so we all get mentally prepared to write a song. It's a few hours sitting down, just thinking, trying to brainstorm. So you kind of got to get mentally prepared, like, okay, I'm gonna get a sip of water, I got to eat before doing this. Go through a little ritual, and yeah, it's really fun.
And then get your creative juices flowing.
Yes,
it's
an important part.
Yeah.
Your music videos they're packed with a lot of creative energy, and visually they're really charming in a way. So how is that process from transitioning your music into the visual aspect of it? Renee, would you go first?
Yeah, it's pretty natural for us actually, because when we're writing, we definitely think a lot of the visuals, and with the lyrics, a lot of it lends itself easily to something on screen. So yeah, it comes pretty naturally, but we always enjoy the creative process behind that, because we do edit and produce and direct and film all of our videos that we've done. Besides the first two, those are in California, but the most recent ones we've done all ourselves. So we love being very involved in that.
Yeah, it definitely helps to have a background in dance, because that is very visual, obviously. So when we're writing music, we're thinking of the choreography, we're thinking of basically everything that can possibly do with visuals, the color palette, everything like that, the cover art, what we want the video to look like, just start to finish. And usually what happens is we're pretty much on the same page. By the end of the song, we're all like, I think we know what we want to do with this. So it works out pretty well.
That's cool. But Gabriella, tell me if you guys have any conflict ever. How do you sort that out? I'm pretty sure you guys might have a bit of different opinions about certain things. How do you figure out to come on the same page at the end?
Yeah, so communication is definitely key. And of course, sisters have their little bickers, because sisters 24/7 all together, 3 girls in a room, can get a little tense. But yeah, it's really easy to talk to these people, they're the best.
You're a sister.
Yes, sisters. And yes, I feel like since we all grew up in the same household, it's all easy to understand each other. Yeah.
We're all very honest with each other, and we just know it comes from a place of love. Always.
We're working towards the same goal, so it's never hard when we have difference of opinion.
Yeah, because we're all trying to create the best end product possible, so it always works out.
That's pretty cool. When talking about Thrive, the music video of it was shot in one single continuous sequence. Yeah, that's pretty neat the way it was done. But it can have a lot of difficulties too. So how did you guys enjoy it? How did you guys feel doing that? Amelia, would you go first?
Yeah, so the process for filming Thrive was so much fun. We've always kind of wanted to do one of those one-take music videos. So we shot it 6 times, and it was the very final take that we got the one. And so, yeah, as we said before, we do it kind of like it's a family production. So our dad is the one behind the camera. So it was just the 4 of us on that road, and he was walking backwards, holding the camera the whole time. So he was getting quite the workout in as we were doing this, but it was a lot of fun. And we set up 2 pianos. So there's a piano in the beginning of the video and a piano at the end. So we took those, because that's a trail in our city, and so we took a U-Haul and we brought those pianos and we wheeled them onto the trail ourselves. Yes. So I would say the setup for the video was a way bigger process than the actual video itself, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it was cool to also see, when people would pass by, they would acknowledge and they'd stop and play the pianos. So that was fun to see. But we did try to, wait for everybody to go so that then we could get it all in one take. Because it's honestly kind of mind-blowing that we were able to do it. Because that was a busy spot. But we knew, the last one, it felt magical. We knew that was the one.
We got it. That's a wrap. Let's go home.
Brenna, you're talking about, it was a busy place, right? So is there any specific incident that still remains in your head, any funny incident that happened while shooting that video?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say what Amalia was touching on about the U-Haul and bringing the pianos out there. The funny process was taking it off, because once we were there and we were able to load it onto the trail pretty easy, but then we were trying to bring them back home. That was very difficult. It took an hour and a half, and it was late at night too, because we left them in the car and then or like attached to the car on the U-Haul because we wanted to go eat. So then by the time we were actually trying to unload them, it was late and it took a while.
They kept getting stuck on the U-Haul, so we were there for like an hour trying to get them off. We're like, can't we just go inside, worry about this later? But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
So the song Thrive, if you think about it, the naming of a song, that's a big process it's itself. So how did you guys came up with deciding that the name of the song is going to be Thrive? Amelia, how did you guys do that?
Yeah, so that was actually something we figured out pretty early in the songwriting process. So before we went into the session, I had a few lyrics I had written, one of them being Baby We're Alive, which is the beginning of the hook of the song. And so we all really liked that line. So we were like, okay, let's work off of that for the chorus. And then one of us said Thrive, and we were like, because we were trying to figure out words that rhyme, things to kind of talk about in that section. And so somebody threw out the word Thrive, and we were like, that's it. That's the word of the song. That's what we're basing this whole song around. Mm-hmm. So we kind of knew pretty quickly, actually, that we wanted it to be Thrive.
Gabriella, tell me, was there any specific, creative process during this making of the song that really stuck with you, that you really enjoyed it?
Yeah, I think the whole process of just creating a song is magical. It's like the best feeling ever, just knowing, oh snap, this is gonna make someone's day, or inspire them to go out and do what they love. And so the whole thing is definitely the most magical part. But one thing in particular that I love doing is listening to the track and just feeling the song, because that's the most important thing, because you can feel, you can hear, you can see, you can do all this, but at the end of the day, it's what you're left with that's like magical.
Oh, that's so sweet. So in this song, is there any specific lyric that is your guys' favorite? That in that entire song, that specific lyric or lyrics is something that catches your attention? Renee, what would you say?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I'd say it's between the pre-chorus and the rap. If I had to choose one, maybe the pre-chorus, when the world keeps spinning and it's throwing you off course, your driving force. Basically, everything can seem kind of out of control, and when it seems like things are maybe going awry, remember that you have the power. Yeah. So I like that line, or lines.
Oh, that's pretty good. Amalia, what is your favorite?
I would say my favorite line, or lines, it's kind of two, but it's in the second verse, and it's everything you wanted is on the tip of your tongue. And I just felt like very good about that when I wrote it, because it's like basically just kind of another way to describe that you're like on the brink of something exceptional. So I just think that's a really fun line.
And Gabriella? Your favorite?
Yeah, I would say that's a really hard question. I definitely would agree with Raina on that. But find a little sunshine, step out of the dark. It's in my verse, and I think it's so explicitly and simply said that it's just really easy to comprehend and, pick up right away, which is really nice.
That's cool. So currently, Amalia, are there any projects that you guys are working on currently for which your fans would be excited of?
Yes, so we're working on new music, always. We're very excited to be releasing a few songs this year. We can't wait for everyone to hear. We can't give too much away, but new music definitely. And we also are going to be doing a live pop-up show this year. We can't give out too much, but we're very excited to do that. That's going to be our first live concert. We've performed live a lot, and that's our favorite thing to do. So we're very excited to be able to do it now for a crowd of people. We're excited.
That's cool. Renee, favorite part of your process, all of you said you love performing, right? So what is that about performing that you enjoy a lot? Is it connecting with the audience? Is it, just connecting with yourself? What is that specific thing?
I'd say yes, definitely connecting with the audience, and just the energy, you can feel it. It's like you're giving them energy, but they're also returning it. It's like a give and take kind of thing, and it's just the energy is unmatched. And then also getting to look over to your sisters and see them on stage with you just gives you that extra boost. So it's just it's super fun.
And Gabriella, at times when you guys get tired, I mean, it's natural to get exhausted. What is that one thing that keeps you going and just be like, you know what, I gotta continue doing this?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely the fans and the followers that comment, wow, you inspire me, or this made my day, you put a smile on my face. Like all those people that you're just inspiring and connecting with and engaging with is like insane that we even have the platform to talk to or connect with or inspire, you know? So I would say that's what keeps me going whenever I get tired or anything. But when performing, practice makes it much easier to, at the end of the day, get on stage. Yes.
And talk about, Amalia, is there any artist that you would actually love to collaborate with in the future and that you guys have been looking up to for a while now?
Yeah, there's so many amazing artists, and we love to kind of take inspiration from everyone. I think there's something that's like very important to be learned from each artist. You know, they're putting their heart and their soul into their music and their art. So I think everyone is very inspiring. But somebody that I've been really inspired by is Meghan Trainor. She started songwriting at a really young age, and she's also a producer. So I think it'd be so much fun to collaborate with her.
Renee, tell me, what is that process like when you guys are deciding who you guys want to collaborate? It is just your wish, or there must be a creative process behind this. So talk about that.
Yeah, so we haven't actually done our first collab yet with another artist. So I look forward to that in the future. That'll be super fun. And as far as like the process of choosing, I think, yeah, just what feels right. And I mean, yeah, there's so many artists to learn from. Like, well, you couldn't just name one. I'm sure we would like to collab with many people.
Yes.
But yeah, just what feels right, I guess.
And I think finding some people with like similar sound and genre is kind of something that you would base it off of.
Yeah.
But there's so many amazing
message,
artists out there.
Oh, that's cool. Gabriella, if you have to describe your music in like 4 words, what would that be?
Oh, 4 words. Okay. I would say fun, pop, danceable, and upbeat.
Nice. I like that.
Interesting, yeah. Malia, what would you say?
Oh, okay. I would say most of those were very accurate. I would probably said the same 4. Okay, let me think of 4. I would say inspiring, energetic. Did you say upbeat?
Yeah.
Positive. And one last word. Exciting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Pass on to Renee.
Okay, let's see. I gotta think of like the whole dictionary.
Yeah, think it's the 8 words like
Yeah, I'd say colorful. Like even with the sound, it's colorful. I'd say
Maybe playful?
yeah, playful.
That's a
Sure,
good one, that's a good
I get some help from the crowd.
yeah.
And then I'd say like harmonized, something along the lines of like the 3 of us, because there is like some texture, maybe textured, because we each have like different voices.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
one more.
One more.
Almost there.
Let's see. Hopeful, I guess.
Yeah.
Music's hopeful.
Pretty good.
I like it.
That's pretty interesting because each one of you have different words, but when you guys put it all together, it is triple charm, isn't it?
Yes,
Sisters.
exactly. That's a great way to put it.
So, talk about one of your projects that you guys are really like proud of. You know, Malia, you can go first.
Yeah, I would say the most recent project, Thrive, was a very fun process. And I think just like the whole thing from the visual elements to writing the song was very, I guess, just inspired in a way. We wrote that song initially as like a letter to our younger selves, what we wanted to hear, what we would have wanted to hear when we first started Triple Charm full time. So for us, it meant a lot, and seeing that like reaction from the audience and how much it's impacting them means so much. So I would say that has definitely been a really fun process, and seeing the result is always the best.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talking about your younger self, Renee, if you have to give any message to your younger self right now, what would that be? With all the knowledge you
Ooh.
have right now.
Well, yes. I'd probably say something along the lines of just to keep going. Like don't back out, go and like go full send it 100% all the way in, because you know what you want, you know what your heart desires. So
You're here to
just-
thrive.
Yeah, basically you're here
Listen
to
to
thrive.
thrive,
So
basically.
go chase it.
Since you guys have begun your career, talk about this one incident or one lesson that has stuck with you even till now, and that'll probably be with you for the rest of your life. Gabriella, you can start.
Oh, that's a good question. One that Raina, I don't know if she came up with it or just had it on her mood board or something before. It was called "Don't Call It a Dream, Call It a Plan." And that, I think, it's going to stick with all of us for a very long time, because we don't think of going after our passions as a dream. It's more of a plan. We're going to do it, and we're meant to do that. And yeah.
Something we live by for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say another thing that I learned pretty early on that I definitely want to carry with me is just to speak up and use my voice, because in the beginning as an artist, when you're newer, it can be easy to feel timid and, not want to step on anyone's toes or just, not feel super secure yet. So just to like gain that confidence and really own your voice is something that I think is important. And now I know.
Yeah,
That's a great one.
Good one.
And Amalia, you would like to end this?
I would say something that I think we've learned, especially now in like the digital age, is the impact that social media can have on you as an artist. I think that's something that I will never take for granted. It's been so amazing to be able to have that. And so I think just kind of remembering how much that's been able to help us out and like kind of keeping that in mind as an artist, and how much it can be helpful to get your music out there. So that's for anyone, and something that I like to keep with me. Yeah, just the power of social media.
Bouncing off from the last point, power of social media. How do you keep up with the ongoing trends and the ever-changing dynamic of social media? Because as you said, it plays an important role especially in everybody's life, right? Artist's life.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amalia, how do you make sure that you and your group keep up with the ever-changing dynamic of it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think something that's super cool about social media is how much things are changing constantly, and also at the same time how people are able to find their like pocket and stick in it and stick with it. So for us, what we like to do on social media is kind of consider it our own little variety show. So we like to do dance, singing, acting, like comedy, sketches, things like that. And so that's something that we found that we really enjoy to do, and our audience also likes seeing. So even like with the trends, like dance trends, we'll hop on those, singing trends, we'll hop on those. But at the same time, we still have like the kind of idea of what we want our content to be about. That's kind of how we ride the waves of trends.
Pretty interesting. But with the support that you guys get, unfortunately, because of social media, there is trolling, there is hate out there. So, as a group, as a musical artist, how do you deal with that situation and not let it affect you? Renee, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I would say just remembering that, it's another person and it's not really about you. A lot of the times it's more about them. Mm-hmm. So I just try to feel empathetic more than anything, because clearly they're having a bad day. And maybe they're just taking it out on you, but I know my hair really doesn't look bad or whatever it is. Like, just try to brush it off and not let it affect me.
I think we've been pretty lucky in that aspect to where for us, we knew that was kind of part of the course. And so we've known that going into it. So social media and the comments and the hate, we don't really get much hate actually, which has been nice.
Yeah.
But
at least we don't pay attention.
But we don't really, we kind of brush it off very easily. So that's something that comes naturally to us. So that's been, I guess, helpful when that trolling and hate does come. We're just kind of, it's okay. We'll keep doing our thing.
Gabriella, what kind of message would you like to give out to those who are actually getting a lot of hate indeed, and those who are facing a lot of issues, especially with social media? What kind of message would you like to give them?
Yeah, I would say focus on your mental state and try and really align yourself to the point where that doesn't affect you and you don't care what other people think. Because I think that's something important that we had going into social media and everything. We already had our wall up of, that we're not going to let that get to us. But like some people that just blew up on social media, just accidentally maybe even, getting so much hate and they're not ready for it. Just prepare yourself and get ready.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I would say focus definitely on your mental health first.
Yeah.
And just remember your own worth and focus on being confident in yourself, because at the end of the day, it really matters what you think of yourself, and what other people say it's okay. They come and go, but you're with yourself at the end of the day. And so it's important to love yourself and feel confident in yourself.
Brennan, what would you like to say?
Yeah, okay. Just to add to that, I would say one point is to try and look for the positive, because I feel like it's easy to, there could be 100 positive comments and one negative one, and then that's what sticks with you. But pay attention to those positive comments, because they mean just as much, if not way more, actually.
Yeah.
So, just look for the positive if you can.
Okay, that's pretty good messaging out there, and I'm sure a lot of people would actually relate to that. So when we're talking about social media, did you guys expected that it would actually help you guys? Was there a fear that, will social media actually help us out, or it won't give us that platform that we think that it would? Amalia, did you guys have that fear?
Yeah, I think when we first started social media, we started in 2020. So it was right when everyone kind of was quarantined. We had a lot of time on our hands. So for us, it was more of something just as a way to reach a new audience and something that's exciting and different. And we were like, honestly, if we can reach 10 people, that would be amazing. So for it to have grown to what it has, it's just been incredible. And I think when we went into it initially, it was more just for the fun of it and not necessarily any fear behind what would happen. And we just kind of went into it and couldn't be more excited about the outcome. It was definitely unexpected, but we're very excited.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Gabriella, would you like to add on to anything?
Yeah, I would say, I think Amalia hit it all. She hit the target there. But, I don't think I have anything to add, actually.
Okay, so with the quarantine and post-quarantine, what's the difference between the creative process of your guys? Was there any extra thing that you guys had to do, especially during quarantine? How did you guys manage to do it in both ways? Amalia, would you like to start off?
Yeah, so for us, the kind of quarantine and then flowing back out of it was pretty in line. We started, the girls started doing online school. I've graduated now, but so that was something we had already been into, and then basically just creating content almost full time and writing music at the same time. So we've been doing that since 2020, haven't really stopped since. So it's just kind of been snowballing even more, and now we're able to do it every day, which has been such a blessing. Yeah. So quarantine turned out to work out pretty well for us. Yeah. And now it's just kind of basically just same thing. We're doing the same thing, just now more. We're working with new writers. We're getting to have more opportunities. So it's just what was happening in 2020, just times 10, which is so much fun.
That's pretty cool. Brennan, how do you see your group in, say, the next 5 years? What do you expect to achieve more, or to get it out there more? What is that expectation that you have?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have a lot of goals. We're very goal oriented and big on setting goals, but definitely see ourselves growing on YouTube and becoming one of the biggest YouTubers. Yeah. But then also going on a world tour and performing our music for hundreds of millions of people. Mm-hmm. So and then also maybe entering some mainstream media, maybe a TV show or something. So definitely many things.
Yes.
You mentioned TV shows. Gabriella, what is that TV show you guys are talking about? Is there any specific topics or any specific input that you guys have that you guys want to act on?
Nothing planned yet, but yeah, we would love to get into mainstream media and traditional media. That is definitely one of our goals.
Say like a sitcom.
Yeah, like a
Kind of,
sitcom kind of style, more like we are Triple Charm in the show, not like a character necessarily, but not fully reality would be
Yeah.
really
Something
fun.
in between.
Yeah, something in between.
That's pretty interesting. You guys had any favorite shows that you guys watched, like growing up, even now, that might actually you guys want to be a part of it in the future, maybe? Amalia?
Yeah, I would say something that kind of has the same sort of vibe of what we would want our TV show to one day be like is like Hannah Montana. I lived off of that show. That show was my life. I loved it. So Hannah Montana, we also like Full House. That was such a fun show. Just like the 90s sitcom, all about family, just really fun and positive. That's something we want to do.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And Hannah Montana, oh god, I grew up watching that show. Like, that's amazing. Great choice, guys. So let's talk about certain other issues as well. In today's time, and you guys are young and you guys have a lot of influence out there. So what kind of human rights moments you guys would like to be a part of, or are already a part of? Would you guys like to talk about it, Renee?
Yeah, so there's many things that we're each passionate about individually as well. I think collectively, like when we started the group, we were all about, positivity and spreading a positive message. Mm-hmm. And especially female empowerment is something that's important to us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely that. And then also, I guess just like world hunger is a big topic and it's a beast to tackle. So I think working towards ending that, I mean, there's so many things to do. Yeah. But yeah, just we want to help in any way we can. So as our platform grows, we definitely look for opportunities to use it in those kinds of ways.
Yeah, in terms of personal passions that you just mentioned, Amalia, what is that, if you have to choose one personally, what is that passion of yours?
For me, something that I've been really passionate about is clean drinking water. I read a book. This is when it really first kind of hit me. I read a book called A Long Walk to Water, which has now become my favorite book. But it's about a guy in Sudan who was a refugee, and then he came back to his country and helped build wells to provide clean drinking water. And ever since I read that book, I was just completely inspired. And so that's something that I'm pretty passionate about.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. And Gabriella, same question, back to you.
Yes, that's a hard one because like Brenna said, there's so many things to tackle and everything. But yeah, I feel I was literally, Amalia took the words out of my mouth. I actually read the same book. I gave it to her. Yeah. But yeah, I am obsessed with trying to conserve water and try not to, overuse it because we're very blessed to have clean water. And so I think that's a really big one. World hunger,
Gabby's also,
a lot of things.
Gabby's a surfer, so clean oceans. I know you're really big about that.
Yeah. I haven't stood up on the board yet, but I call myself a surfer. I like the beach.
She's got a surfboard in her room. She gives the surfer aesthetic. She's just kind of working on the actual surfing part.
Well, whatever floats the boat, right?
Yes.
There you go.
So, actually, one topic you guys have just mentioned right now, women empowerment, right? And considering three of you are, young women in this industry, young girls in this industry working hard, and talk about how is it different from, say, if you guys see another male counterpart. Is it difficult, more difficult? Do you guys have to deal with more issues? Like Amalia, how does that affect, and what's that process like?
Yeah, so for us, we've been blessed to grow up around so many hardworking women that have inspired us so much and, push past the boundaries that they have had to go through in the corporate world or wherever that may be. So we've just grown up around that. And so for us, it's been something that we've felt really strongly about. And we've had a great support system supporting us in that way. So we just hope with our platform that we're able to provide that same support to other women because we're lucky enough to be able to follow and go after our dreams. And so we hope that we can inspire any other young woman and just anybody really to go after that too and just have go like, don't quit, because we've been lucky enough to just keep going after it. And so if I can inspire anyone to do the same, then I'm happy. Then I've done my part.
That's beautiful thoughts, and it has, you guys, with the influence that you guys have, it's natural to have that sense of responsibility. It comes out automatically, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, Rena, tell me, when you guys have that sense of responsibility, does it ever get overwhelming in your career or in your life?
I've never felt or thought about it that way. I just see it as like a blessing and a gift to be able to reach so many people and, have a positive impact. Because I also think like it's fulfilling, not only like helping someone, it helps them, but also like it fills your cup too. Because I feel like giving a gift is better than receiving it, almost along that sentiment. So I just really enjoy it.
Perfect. Gabriella, if there is this one trend or movement that you could, start to help people, what would that be?
Yeah, well, Mr. Beast, I don't know if you saw him. He did a video helping 1,000 people see, and basically he just paid for this surgery to be done where all around the world, he went all around the world and paid for this surgery to help people see be done. And it was like very inspiring, and I think that could be an amazing trend if we could start that, or just like helping people that don't have the resources to do that. I would say would be an awesome trend.
That's beautiful, and that video actually did went viral. Like, that news was everywhere. I even read up about it. Amalia, same question to you. What any specific trend or movement that you would like to start, which will help people?
I think that was a great one, Gabby. I think just finding any way that you can be kind to other people. So like an ideal trend would be like going and doing random acts of kindness, just like getting that to become the biggest trend in the world. If one person did a random act of kindness for somebody around the world, it would make such a huge impact. So I think just a trend where people are just kind and giving to other people would just be a great trend, honestly.
Yeah. And to add to that, I would say it doesn't even have to be super expensive, thousands of dollars worth of surgery. It could just be a compliment. Give someone a compliment each day, because that could make a difference too.
That's a really important part, I think, and our listeners would absolutely agree with it. When we're talking about all of these, an important aspect of all of our lives is mental health, and so you guys are under a lot of pressure, and you guys have a lot of hard work to do. So how do you make sure that your mental health remains unaffected and remains on par with your physical health, because it is as important as any other health part of ours? So Amalia, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think something that's really important for us is just communicating with each other. So when we're going through something that's amazing about working with your sisters is that when you're going through something, the other person is able there to help and bring you back up and help you kind of push through.
And is going through the same thing, basically.
Yeah. So I think just being able to have people around you that are super supportive and you're able to kind of fall back on at certain times when you need it most, I think that's what's really helped me.
Yeah. And something I do to keep my mental health in check is like write what I'm grateful for, or just journal about my day, or just
I love journaling.
Just write down my feelings and my emotions, because I think that's very important and very powerful.
And Renee, what do you do?
Yeah. I'd say finding time for yourself is very important. For me, I really am into fitness, and so I love working out or going for a run. I also like cooking. So just dedicating time to yourself, and just self-care.
That's pretty. And also, when we talk about mental health, there's always this one person that we know who we can always rely on, no matter whatever we are going through. So who is that one person that you guys rely on in your journey? Even together as a group, is there any individual person you guys rely on for yourself? Amalia?
I would say for us, our biggest support has been our parents. So our mom and our dad are our biggest fans, and they are biggest support. So I think
we would not be able to do this without them.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. They've been here obviously every step of the way. So they are definitely people that we fall back on. And anytime we need guidance or just support in general, all three of us really just go back to them. For sure.
That's beautiful. Yeah, parent support is really necessary, for any child. I mean. So it's a really great message you guys are giving out there. Talk about, when you guys are making music and you're putting out there and looking at those people reactions and stuff. So what is that, most rewarding part of that journey total? Like, is how, when you look out there, what is that one thing that makes you feel like, yeah, I need to keep on going no matter what? Gabriella, what is that one thing for you?
Yeah, I think I actually touched on this in a different question, but the way the people receive it, of course, the reactions is insane and beautiful. And the fact that you inspire people and are making someone's day, even like that one person that you're just making laugh, is just so rewarding. And I think that's, the most rewarding part of what we do.
Yeah.
And the people.
Yeah, our goal since day one has always been to spread positivity. So if we're able to do that in any way, whether that's cracking a funny joke and making them laugh or making them smile when they watch a dance video, just in any way, shape, or form, if we're able to do that, then we feel like we've done our part.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. If you, with all the knowledge that you guys have right now, if you would change something in your past, or if you could go back to your past and change something, so would you guys do something like that? Do you guys have any plan about that? Renee?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I would say I probably wouldn't change anything just because I'm a strong believer that, everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't be here today without my whole journey. And so, I wouldn't change anything because we've learned and we've grown from any challenge along the way. So, yeah.
And Amalia?
I agree with Raina 100%. Yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, and I like to go into things with no regrets. So, yeah, I'm very happy with where we've gotten to today and wouldn't change things.
Well, that's an amazing answer. It's pretty cool. But there are a lot of young artists coming up in this industry these days, right? Be it with the power of social media or other projects. So you guys have had a taste of what it is like being a young artist in this industry. So what kind of message would you guys like to give to those young artists who are starting off, who want to make a big name of themselves? Gabriella, you can start.
Yeah, I would say keep going, go after it. Keep going, don't give up. You've got this, basically. No matter what anyone says, you're not too young to do it. You're just as smart as any other person, you have the power, you can do it, basically, is what I would say. Anyone?
Yeah, I would say I agree with that fully. And also, the power of social media. Again, just use that to your advantage. So many artists are able to grow now because of social media. So if you're starting out, just start posting, start going after it on social media, because that will make a huge difference, especially because we're independent artists, and that's helped us in ways that wouldn't have been possible without the use of social media. So I would say any artist starting out, social media is your best friend.
100%. I agree.
Renee, would you like to say something?
I would say maybe to, as you're growing and as you're coming up as an artist, it's important to stay true to yourself and to stay in touch with yourself, because a lot can be happening very fast. It can be a whirlwind. So just to also have moments for yourself and to also remember your why, why you started. When things get hard, well, why did you start?
That's a wonderful message. And finally, in today's time, though, K-pop is something which is coming up a lot. Everybody's talking about it. So has K-pop influenced your music or your style or your writing in any way, Amalia?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we love K-pop. I think that's something that hasn't been around since the 90s, which is this dance factor combined with the singing, which is something that we've always wanted to do because dance is our background. So it's very exciting to see that happening in K-pop, and something that we've always wanted and envisioned in our performances is the dance factor is huge for us. So yeah, I think that's something great about K-pop and something we're definitely inspired by.
For sure.
And Renee, is there any favorite K-pop artists that you guys really love, like bands maybe?
We do love BTS
Yeah.
Yes, and
and
Blackpink.
Blackpink.
Blackpink
We
is
just-
amazing.
We
Yeah.
love their positive messages and just the fierceness. Like
Yes.
Blackpink, they're fierce, and
Yeah.
BTS, they also have such great messages behind their music. So
And
yeah.
their live performances,
Fire.
incredible.
Yes.
I could watch them perform all day long. So yeah, definitely K-pop groups are. We take a lot of inspiration.
Oh yeah, that's correct. I would agree on that.
Yeah.
Just on top of your head, you can go from Gabriella, then Amalia, and then Bene. On top of your head, this one person in this entire planet right now who you can have a conversation with about just anything. Who would that be? Gabriella.
That's a really good question. I would say, I don't know if this counts because he's not alive, but Michael Jackson, I would want to know, I would be really curious, like his journey, like what he's went through and like just his journey. I feel like,
Yeah.
right?
I was literally thinking that in my head. I was gonna say
Twin
that.
telepathy.
She stole it.
For me, I would say if I could have a conversation with anyone, it would be maybe I right now I would want to talk to Lady Gaga. I am so inspired by her.
my next one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's something that does happen to us. We tend to have telepathy in
pretty
weird
in
ways.
sync.
Very
Even though
similar.
we're not actually triplets, which we do get comments about a lot.
Yeah.
We're just sisters, but we do have telepathy at moments. But yes, Lady Gaga, I'm so inspired by her. All of her music is incredible, and just like from the fashion to each like era of her music, and then when she went into acting, just everything. I would just love to sit and hear her story, start to finish.
I love
And
that.
Rene, 2 of your choices are gone. So what's the
I
third choice?
know. Look at that. Well, then I gotta say Queen B, Beyonce.
Oh yeah.
That would just be awesome. So
Yeah.
maybe a combo with her.
That's amazing. Okay, great choices, guys. And I really hope you guys were able to, fulfill all of your wishes and all of your achievements. I hope you guys get that. And thank you so much for, having this conversation, making out your time. I know you guys are a lot busy with all of your work, but it was great having this conversation, knowing a lot more about you guys. And I'm pretty sure your fans and all of our listeners would, love it. So thank you so much for listening to our conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We had a great time.